Hello and welcome to a very special edition of the Sports Plug called Kinfolk and Nem, where we'll have my kinfolk, Greg Turner, Brett Reece, Napoleon Robicheaux, and Ishmael Siryon, where we'll talk about sports, hot topics, and also really that's what we're doing. We laughing before we can get started. Come on,
That
guys,
nigga look
let's keep it
creepy.
together before we get to the laughing.
That
Like I
nigga
said, we
creepy.
talk about sports,
I'm
hot
sorry.
topics, and everyday and everyday hot topics that we're going to discuss on this show. And let's start it off, of course, and get everybody introduced. First off, Gregory Turner. Let's get it started.
Well, you already said my name, but I'll say it again. My name is Greg Turner. Part of Kinfolk and Nem podcast, trying to get some stuff going. Um, Out here in Houston area, Humble, Texas to be exact. You know what I mean? You know, trying to get some shit started, trying to get some shit popping with my homies. You know what I mean? Trying to keep the shit organic. You know what I mean? So get it popping. You know what I'm talking about?
My kinfolk and them. Be Reese. Let them know where you be.
I'm not gonna go in that much detail. I'm in Dallas. That's all you get from me.
Really, we're not gonna talk about the accolades. We're not gonna talk about.
Accolades? There's no
We're
accolades,
not.
man.
We're not gonna
I'm just
talk
a regular
about
guy.
the pink shirt. We're not gonna talk
I'm
about
just.
what you're doing in your off time
I
now.
said we
Make them
can.
shirts,
I said we
baby.
can get there. We can get there and make say t-shirts we here, but
Already,
He's just another goofy ass nigga with a chili bowl.
Yep.
already,
For
already.
real.
I cut my own hair though. Cut my own hair. You know what I'm saying?
All right. Next up, Napoleon Robicheaux. Let them know where you
What's
be.
the deal? Y'all know what it is. It's your boy, Napadamas. I'm out here in Philly, Pennsylvania. You feel me? So I'm making it do what it do. Pens, woods, and shit. You feel me? Fuck with my motherfucking media company, Divine Minds Media. We out here doing the damn thing. Feel me? Double face in the building.
Best believe we'll put the links to all that
Gotta plug
in the
all that, don't you?
description. We'll put all that in the description after this video is over with on YouTube and also Facebook.
Good.
Ishmael Siryon, let them know about yourself.
You know, you don't have to be spreading my government name out there. You can just say
It's from the
ish.
Wonderland.
I'm not out here to spread my business, so I'm just gonna keep it short and sweet. If you know, you know.
See, I tried to do that. But y'all wouldn't let me. So why is he?
Y'all
gonna do
niggas,
that?
you did it.
Because that nigga don't have a chili bowl, you do.
That's not fair.
Thank you.
Wow. At least I have a haircut. I'm one of the two people here that have haircuts. So
Anyways, as always, please like and share this podcast so we can make sure we get other goofy, funny people to watch this show. And please, if you want to watch this and make fun of Brett's goofy chili bowl haircut,
wow. This is what we're doing the first episode.
Dang.
All right, that's
please
cool.
like this episode
Because
so we can send some more goofy.
no. See, I'm not even about to do this to me. Because in the pre-show, no, time out. In the pre-show, every single one of y'all was like, "Oh, it looks good. It looks good." Now we're live. You're talking about.
I never said that. That is a
I ain't never
lie.
said
That's cool. No, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay.
Do that. I
Yo,
never,
That
I
is
ain't
a
never said
bold-faced
that. I don't know
lie.
what
I
you're talking
never
about.
want
Anyways,
it
That's
look
fine.
good.
so first topic of tonight, Patrick Mahomes, $500 million man. How you guys feel about it? Who want to start
I'm
off?
talking the rest of the show. I'm
Since
muted.
I have the least amount of knowledge,
I mean, you
was
shouldn't
10
say
years?
anything, dude.
You gonna go?
That's a long time. And that's all I really got to say about that.
Oh my gosh.
Anyways, next.
feel like a nigga that has the least knowledge for sure.
Exactly.
Next.
Yeah, you do. I mean, I think it's great for him. I think it's great for Deshaun Watson and Dak Prescott.
It's a long time, nigga.
But I don't think it's that great for Brett. You were focusing on how long it's for. Everybody knows he's not going to be in that contract for 10 years. So it doesn't matter that it's for 10 years. Really, what you need to look at is the money he's making per year, which is $45 million per year without the incentives. So that is what's great for him and for the other two quarterbacks that are waiting for contracts, Dak Prescott and Deshaun Watson, because I think it's really important that Mahomes got his money before those two, because now it gives them somewhere to work in between to say, you know, before we were talking about maybe 35, 36 million a year. But now with Mahomes getting 45, I'm not as good as Mahomes, but I can get 40.
First of all, don't you dare in your life bring up Dak Prescott with Patrick Mahomes. Deshaun Watson has a lot more credibility to be brought up in the conversation, and Lamar Jackson. But don't you ever in your life bring up Dak Prescott right now. He don't
Who
deserve
was smoking?
40. He only deserves 30, 35. Okay, he should be lucky with 32. Damn it.
Sorry,
Anyways,
Napo. Sorry,
next,
Napo.
anybody else have anything to say about Pat? Knick knack, patty whack. Give a dog a bone for a couple of dollars or something.
Shout out to the Chiefs. They locked down pretty much the best quarterback in the league, reigning Super Bowl champion. I mean, it was bound to happen. Didn't know they're going to lock him down for another 10 years. I even asked y'all on a separate thing. I didn't know they did 10-year contracts in football. I mean, maybe I'm just oblivious to that. Or I just,
Mike Vick had
yeah,
a 10
yeah,
year
yeah,
before the
yeah,
dog fighting
yeah.
situation.
And then I think Donovan McNabb had one too, if
Yep.
I'm not
I
mistaken.
have hold up. I have the list. The last four quarterbacks to have a 10-year extension. Donovan McNabb in 2002, he had 12 years with the Eagles. Brett Favre in 2001, he had a lifetime contract with the Packers. 2001, Drew Bledsoe had a 10-year contract with the Patriots. And
But
Michael Vick had a 10-year contract with the Falcons in 2004.
Drew
Now,
Bledsoe,
just to
Bledsoe.
rewind everybody's memory back, of course, Donovan McNabb didn't finish his career with the Eagles. Brett Favre, of course, did not finish his career with the Packers. Ended up playing with two more teams after that. Drew Bledsoe, if people forgot, of course, with that situation, Drew Bledsoe got hurt, and that made the way for, of course, Tom Brady to be there
yo,
for the next 20 years. And then we also have Michael Vick, and we all know what the whole dogfighting situation will happen with that, correct? So, if history shows us anything, it's not showing that Patrick Mahomes is a bad quarterback or that he can't do what he can do. It's just showing that it does not seem like he's going to be with on that same team for the next 10 years. So, we're going to see if he can be there for at least 8 years,
I
and
think he's going to be there for the rest of his career
yeah,
he
unless
could.
something happens,
He
unless
could.
injury
We'll
or he
see.
completely drops off the face of the earth with talent. I think he'll
I
be there the rest of his career.
I
they're gonna
I
do
I
everything they
don't
can.
see I don't see why he wouldn't. And just to give a shout out to Ryan Kirkpatrick that's watching the show, he said Dak. Really? I agree, Ryan. I don't see it either. I don't know why that name is even
Dak
getting mentioned.
is a Dak is a franchise quarterback to the Cowboys. I'm not saying
The
I think he's
Cowboys,
a
yes.
franchise quarterback to the Cowboys. All I'm saying is with this new market, he has an argument to say, I deserve, somewhere not Mahomes' money, but somewhere in that range, a little bit under it. That's all I'm saying. It's a new market. So since the market has been reset, he can now make his claim that he deserves maybe 40. I'm not saying I think he deserves 40. I'm not saying he's a franchise quarterback. I'm just saying that this contract helped him make his argument. And it's only going to get worse for the Cowboys. They should have signed that man before Mahomes signed his deal. Because now, I don't know. I think he gonna play on the franchise and he might leave. We know
Now,
Jerry Jones is stingy.
again, I got you on that. I definitely understand, and I'm just gonna go back to Patrick Mahomes with the Chiefs. I feel like the Chiefs got the best end of the deal with this whole situation because, like I talked about pre-show, if Patrick Mahomes wanted to do a 2 or 3 year deal and get the most money he possibly can in a short amount of time and bet on himself like a LeBron in the NBA and can go ahead and say, I'm going to play for 20, I'm sorry, I'm going to play for 45 million a year and try to get 45 million a year guaranteed instead of having to play for, the 10-year deal that he's playing on and not maximizing. I'm sorry. Instead of playing for 45 million every year, he can maximize his deal and say in the next 5 years it could be 60 million a year. It could be 65 million a year. So with the Chiefs, I think they were able to lock in the low risk, high reward factor that Patrick Mahomes is right now because they can obviously see the flip that they can make with you give them 500 million, they're probably gonna make 3 billion off of them. Just saying.
Maybe more.
He's gonna get money for his likeness for sure.
Of
For
course.
sure. For sure.
All right. Anybody else got anything to say before we go on to the next topic? Anybody? All
I
right.
mean,
All right.
I guess real quick, the his deal though, like over time, they're not gonna be able. I mean, just like any major salary, they're not gonna be able to hold other people on their roster. So,
I was making that point earlier to my wife.
yeah,
No, I agree. Yeah, well, I've talked about it before with the core.
because eventually, everybody's gonna want to get paid. I was playing on franchise and Madden. I picked the Chiefs because I was like, okay, young talent, all stuff like that. But then everybody wanted to get paid, so they have. I forget the names, but they have defensive lineman. I think it's Chris Jones.
Chris Jones still is not signed. He said if he doesn't get 20 a
he
year,
wants to get paid too.
Yeah,
he's gone.
In they have a defensive back that wants to get paid too. It's not Matthew, but it's another one that wants to get paid. And
nobody on DB besides Tyrann
exactly.
Matthew for money.
That's why I'm making the face because.
His overall is good in Madden. That's all I'm saying. I forget his name, but he's want to get paid in Madden.
Watch the game, Brad. Stop playing Madden. Watch the game.
But if he's good at Madden, he's gonna
shut up.
Get paid in real life.
Shut up. You sound like a kid. You sound like a 7-year-old.
What I'm trying to get at is that they're not gonna be able to keep all the people that they have. So
they did just sign Tyreek Hill on a discount because of the whole situation that he had going on.
Which they got lucky too.
Maybe they can hold off on having to give him a new contract for a little while. But you do have Kelsey coming up.
That's what I'm saying. Kelsey and Chris Jones, like those two contracts alone, they're not gonna be able to keep everybody. So they're gonna make some deep discounts either somewhere, or they have to get rid of a lot of people.
Shout out to Casey McKinney, longtime Chiefs fan, one of my favorites, of course, on the Sports Plug. He says cap goes up $10 million every year. Wink face, because he is a Chiefs fan. He definitely does know that. He does know that you have to get rid of some guys, but they will definitely find a way to keep the guys that they need, in there. And of course, shout out to Miss Nolan, one of our favorites. Of course, not another Madden argument. You know what? That's what we do, Miss Nolan. That's what we do.
Shout out to Miss Nolan.
Shout out to Miss Nolan. And then also what KC said as well, Dak is a top 10 quarterback. Cousins got paid, and he's trash, which is definitely true. Someone will get paid more than Mahomes before year 5. We just don't know it yet. Burrow, Murray. This is true as well.
Thank
the
you,
market.
KC.
This is true. The market resets himself every 5 years. And again, we're gonna see if they restructure Mahomes' contract to give him more, to maybe instead of that once at 5 years and whatnot, instead of it being 7 years left, they might add another 5 more years and add $300 million. Who knows? So we'll see what this whole contract altogether could equal $1 billion. When it's all said and done. So we'll see what happens. So
like I kind of said before. Sorry, right before we go, what I said in the chat earlier, it could also be more of a respect thing, like giving them 10 years, putting the money out there, saying, hey, we gave you this because we respect you. You're the face of the franchise. Blah blah blah. Kind of what like Dak wants, but he's not gonna get most likely. But like just the respect of saying like, hey, you got us to where we wanted to go, where we haven't been in a long time, and so we're gonna give you this money now. In those 5 or 6 years, now we're gonna come back and say, hey, we gave all this to you because we needed, we respected you and everything, but now help us out.
Well, teams always restructure the deals, right? Like you always move the money around to make the cap work. So I definitely expect them to continue to do that with him working. I wouldn't be surprised 2 years from now for us to hear some sort of adjustment to his contract just to get money.
I agree. No, I agree.
I think I gave it 4.
We'll see. Well, the good thing about this is that we'll always be able to go back and rewatch this and figure it out in 3 or 4 years and see what happens. So we'll go from a team that creates nothing but fireworks to a day that has nothing but fireworks to commemorate the day, July 4th. What did you do on your Saturday?
Transition there, sir. You've been practicing.
That was lovely. I like
You
that.
damn near professional, Kinfolk.
Yeah, that was good.
I hate y'all.
That was
Anyways,
Bro, we're just trying to give you. We trying to give you
In the
positive.
mirror,
Yeah, man.
in the mirror, like let's transition today.
are y'all done? Are y'all done?
Are you going to
Anyways,
accept the
like
compliment
I
or what?
said, what
Are
did
you
you
gonna
guys
accept the
do
compliment?
on your Saturday?
Are you going to accept the compliment?
Yes, thank you, gentlemen, for allowing me to be great at my job. I'm trying
Yes.
to make us all look successful. Thank you,
Now we
guys.
can move forward.
Appreciate that.
Thank you.
All right.
Well, if nobody else is going to answer,
Yep,
I
thank
did
you, thank you, Ish.
absolutely
Thank you,
nothing.
somebody. All right.
Oh, I can start. So, well, you started already, but I'm gonna piggyback. So, I was actually in Colorado. I didn't do anything fancy for July 4th. Usually, I post for July 4th, just saying, typical little Star Wars thing. May the Fourth be with you. That cornball stuff. Shout out to people that watch Star Wars though. But anyways, I didn't really. I mean, it was just another day for me. Obviously, you had everybody around with the, showing their pride with the American flags and stuff like that. But I mean, it was just another day on vacation for me. I was in Colorado already, so it was kind of like, oh, today's July 4th. That's pretty much it. Didn't pop no fireworks. Didn't have no American flag stuff on. So it was just like, hey, it's July 4th. Let me go get a beer or something like that. But it wasn't anything like, oh my gosh, July 4th. Let me go let me get some like Wranglers or something and put an American flag shirt on.
Why Wranglers?
Wranglers.
Why
Why
Wranglers?
Wranglers?
I don't know why. It was on top of my head. It was on top of my head. Shout out to people that wear Wranglers though.
Why
Shout out
couldn't
to
be
Brett Favre.
Levi's?
Shout out to Brett Favre and the Wrangler commercials.
Shout out to Wranglers and shout out to Brett Favre.
Why not Dale Earnhardt Jr.?
Shout out to Dale Earnhardt Jr.
Oh
Hey,
yeah.
fuck the bullshit. Shout out to Levi. Fuck the Wranglers.
Anyways, anybody else want to comment on their 4th of July?
I mean, I just hung out with family and played dominoes. So,
I did nothing. I already said that.
well, we also did the same thing the week before. So it was for us another weekend. We barbecued because we had time, and we barbecued last week too. So it was just like a weekend thing. It wasn't necessarily specific
Napoleon?
to the 4th of July.
I'll say this. It was like 7 o'clock in the evening, and I started getting frustrated. And I asked Christine, I said, I don't understand why people popping fireworks right now or today. Like, I don't understand. And then I was like, oh shit, never mind. It's 4th of July. That's how my first went. I could not give a fuck. As a matter of fact, we just dubbed it Dub F Day. So y'all make sure y'all fuck with us. No more July 4th over here. But that's for a whole nother podcast.
But
So what you guys are saying is that the generation that we are in, we are commemorating July the 4th the way that we want to, correct? Because I mean, my family we had our own July the 4th get together with my family and whatnot, and like again, I'm somebody that fought for this country. Napoleon, you did the same thing as well, and what I know from my family that have fought for this country, from my dad, my grandfather, my uncles, my cousins. Unfortunately, back in the day when they fought for this country, you could not sit at the same, countertop that a white person that fought for this country as well did. And there's no animosity. We're not trying to get back into the 60s. We're not trying to bring up old, stuff that doesn't need to be brought up again. But we're just trying to state facts that we, of course, as this generation, feel like America has unfortunately done certain people wrong, as we can also see with the Vanessa. If anybody can fill me on the last name again, I don't
Vanessa
want to say it
Guillen.
wrong.
Yeah.
Vanessa Guillen situation. It is an unfortunate situation that we as Americans need to address, no matter who you are, black, white, Hispanic, Asian, no matter what race you live under in the United States. If you're somebody that is for the military, is for police, is for the law enforcement that is out here that's protecting the greater good, but you don't want to stand up when they do bad as well. We cannot be hypocritical, and you cannot only pick and choose when you say, hey, this is when I like these guys, because when it's all said and done, there's good and bad in any and everything that's going on, from politics to sports to military to police to all that good stuff that we see on an everyday basis. Do we need the media to tell us this? No, because we've lived it our own experience ourselves, me and Napoleon, that we've seen things that we can have our own conversation about for another podcast. But it is our prerogative and our due diligence as individuals to be able to explain to the next generation when we if we do decide to start having kids, to say, hey, this is how this holiday is going to get celebrated, and this is how it's going to get perceived to somebody of our color. Are we saying to cancel out all holidays? No, we're not.
Yes.
But and again, that's depending on the individual, But we are also saying, let's educate, and let's educate and let's have the person dictate on how they want to celebrate it on their own individual stuff. Because if our kids say, no, I want to celebrate fireworks, and I love this and I love that, who are we to take away a kid's joy in childhood until they actually want to wake up? Until we all had to wake up on our own time frame, right? So just because we're trying to tell kids at 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 years old to wake up and they might not get into their 22. So they might have to learn it the hard way.
You're right. However, we do have the obligation to lead them in the correct path. So regardless of what they want, if what they want is not going to lead them down the correct path, you can celebrate with the fireworks, with whatever the case may be. But whether they understand or not, the education has to be, we are celebrating for this because you are a child and you don't have the comprehension or education to really truly understand. So as a parent, I have to lead you accordingly and I have to teach you accordingly. But that doesn't take away from the fact that, of course, kids gonna see fireworks, everybody popping fireworks. You can't get them away from that. They see the fireworks stands, they see the commercials, they're gonna see their friends talking about it, so they're gonna want to do it. And then that's when you gotta, okay, well, we can do that, but you have to understand at the same time, we gotta walk accordingly. So I think you're right.
It's a double-edged sword. It's at catch-22.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody else got anything to say before we go on to the next topic?
You said it, brother man.
All right. Mercure Maker committing to Howard University. Could that be a trend for the new generation of ballers that have, that are established when it comes to not needing the assistance of a D1 school to help, get a little bit extra money in their pocket, or to help their mom get out of poverty, or whatever it is? He's committing to Howard. We have Mikey Williams also maybe considering joining him at Howard University. Reports are coming in as well when it comes to Bronny James.
Don't say that nonsense. Don't say.
I will say that nonsense because it could happen. Bronny James,
no, it's
son
not.
of LeBron James, could be joining the HBCU factory as well. I have friends right here that are my kinfolk in them that's right here shaking their head thinking that it's not going to happen. But what do you guys think? Let's talk about it.
I guess I'll start off. Shout out to Mercure Maker for, first of all, being able to extend his basketball career. I know there's a lot of kids coming out of high school that wish they had the Kentucky's, I think it was like UCLA's, whatever. I know Kentucky for sure was on the list because I'm a Kentucky fan. Shout out to Kentucky. But anyways, shout out to Calipari as well. But anyways, again, a lot of kids are not able to further their basketball career outside of high school. And he was able to do that, and he's able to set a trend while making his college decision by going to Howard. So shout out to him. I think it's a big deal, honestly. Also, there's another story about another kid. He was originally committed to St. John's, but he changed his commitment. Is now going to Norfolk State University. A guy named Nate Tabor. So it's slowly but surely, it could be a trend. And obviously, X brought up a guy that's been trending a lot lately, a young kid. I think he's only about to be a sophomore, Mikey Williams. So that would be another big thing if he went. That would be huge. But so as far as shifting the culture, I know Ish liked my tweet when I said that. Is definitely what Mercure Maker is doing. He shifted the culture. I don't know if y'all looked up Howard's record. They were 4-29 last year.
Oh, I saw that.
Can't get any worse.
I mean, you can go from 3-30.
You could. Shut your ass up. Can't get any worse, like I said.
I don't know. As far as that equating the wins,
all I know is us five can go out there and go get 4 wins.
we could. We're gonna mess up our
Wait,
hamstring.
shake your head. What you shake your head for? Hey, I'm telling you right now, you got me messed up. I'm 29 years old. You got me messed up. You think I can't go out there and go get at least 4 wins out of 35?
Goddamn
You
right.
said, time out. You said a spot.
Yep.
You know Napoleon counts.
Us four.
Yeah. I was gonna say, you know Napoleon don't even count.
I know he don't count, but he
right now. Without me, I'm the centerpiece to the team.
He would make the team lose if he was the water boy.
I'm the goddamn Scottie Pippen.
he gonna spike the water and help us lose.
Y'all niggas can't win without me.
Nah, bro. I'd rather.
Anyways,
I can't win with you, so
it's
You can only win with me.
we haven't yet.
That's
Nah,
all
nah,
I do. It's a lie. We actually, I win all the time with you. Well,
When?
What?
I can't see where I'm putting it. I'm sorry. Xavier.
Negative.
So
We back in the day, yes, we had.
we invented a wide smash.
We did. We was
when it's time
killing
to game
boys.
up, when it's time to
You
game
right
up,
though. You right. He ain't gonna lie.
And what's happening? I'm dumping I get the ball and I pass the ball to X
And we travel.
No, I do not travel.
Bang. I do be making them hoes. I do be making them hoes though.
You missed the wide open layup.
I don't do that shit. I ain't in the 8th grade no more.
You was 18 years old doing that. You wasn't in 8th grade. You was in the 12th missing wide open layups.
No, but
29 next month, you're gonna be doing the same shit too.
But nah, the Makura Maker thing, I mean, that's a bombshell right there for a 5-star recruit to choose HBCU. Definitely heading in the right direction. But I got a couple of concerns about this. The first thing I got to say is my man declared for the draft and still hasn't removed his name from the draft. So is he actually going to go to Howard? Like, that's a question that we're not asking. Everybody is excited about him declaring.
A whole publicity stunt type of situation where it looks good for Howard, but in reality, he's about to get a gotcha and go straight to the draft.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, he declared is in the draft, and he hasn't removed his name yet. So for me, I'm a little turned off by that until he removes his name, because he could be using it just to be like, oh yeah, I'm the first person to commit, and then go straight to the NBA. Although looking at the projections, it doesn't look like he'll be drafted. So he probably will go to Howard, but it's still a little shady to me to have your name in the draft and then commit and get all this fanfare from people. But I don't know that this is going to be a trend. I think basketball, it has potential to be a trend. Football, definitely not going to happen.
No.
Not until they start getting more sponsorships.
It's not going to happen.
If they can get more sponsorships, like football and basketball wise, maybe you'll start seeing a couple more kids go. But it's not ever going to be on the same level as a D1 Ohio State, Texas Tech, A&M, LSU.
It's too far gone. It's too far gone. Yeah. And for football, I don't think you can even climb out of it, because one 5-star recruit in football does nothing for a football team.
No, you'd have to have like 6 top 10 recruiting classes.
Oh, nigga, all you need is one Robicheaux. That's all you need.
No, you don't.
They need none. Gonna mess up that entire program.
Matter of fact, if they get one, they need to immediately kick him off the campus.
Exactly.
The campus, goddamn.
Anyways, so going from a class clown like Napoleon Robicheaux to a presidential candidate like Kanye for president. Yay 20 hashtag Yay 2020. How do you guys feel about this?
I have an important question. Is he even able to hop in the primaries? I guess the election, like, there's a list of states already
that are out there on the internet that he can't enter their primaries. So there's a list of them already out there that he's too late to enter in those. But I think everywhere else he can still enter. Let's not believe this nonsense.
Right. Well,
It's a smoke screen.
that's
Come
another
on.
thing. I think it's just talk. I think he just because it is like I said. Like I mean, he don't really have time to get. I guess he probably don't really need those states, to be honest. This is Kanye we talking about, but I think he's all talk as far as the presidential candidacy and election and whatnot. I don't think that. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, nah. I think he's all talk. As far as people voting for him, people gonna vote if
People
he
gonna
runs.
vote, of course.
But I personally think that he's all talk.
So my question to y'all is, who will vote for him?
Idiots.
No. Like,
What do
I'm
you
asking
mean?
a serious question. Like,
Demographics?
yeah, what demographic they gonna vote for him?
I mean,
Oh,
that's
Lead the generation afterwards, right?
No, he's talking about demographic as in race
Yeah,
or
it can also
age as
be
well.
age and
Age.
race.
It's gonna be
Age,
young.
race.
It's gonna be young black and white folks.
Yeah, Generation Z.
And let me ask you a question: who do those demographics normally vote for?
Democrats.
Okay, it's all set up.
It could be. I could definitely see it.
Dun dun dun. We found it. We found it out.
I mean, I just don't
Explain
believe.
further.
I don't believe if he actually really wants to run, he would enter this late. I think
I'm gonna say
really,
like it's July.
the
You
only way
think
he
like-
benefits from this is to take votes from somebody that he doesn't want to win.
Pretty much.
I mean, it's possible.
I mean, it's July. Like the election is in November, but you start off technically they start campaigning what a year before the actual election ish.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
campaign for a long time. He probably
At
got an
least.
album coming out. Like Kaylee said, he probably got an album coming out. I believe
exactly.
it.
Yeah.
Because maybe I don't know. Maybe I'm misinformed or anything like that. But at first he said 2024, right? Now
Well,
No, he said 2020.
Then he said 2024.
Right.
And he just popped up and said, "Okay, I'm running this year."
it's whack. It's
The
whack.
man has lost his mind.
Well, shout out to Miss Nolan because she's still tuning in. She definitely said ish. I said the same thing.
I mean, anybody who has a brain to think can see through this. It is a smoke screen. My man is not serious about running.
Can't be.
I mean, it is a weird situation, but I mean, Trump got elected, so
That's a whole different situation. Don't
But
even
the
try
thing
and
is,
compare the two. You really can't.
he supports Donald.
right.
And
Donald-
But do
Donald
we really
Trump
know if he
benefits
supports him or
from him
not? Because
running.
we've seen things of where they trying to do him, little okey doke. We don't really know if he really supports him or not. But get another topic for another day.
Mm-hmm.
But also shout out to Miss Christine Fryer Robicheaux, the better looking Robicheaux. She said definitely to take away votes, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's all he is. He's just running to take votes away from people.
it's the
Dang,
Trump.
Nap, you actually had a haircut in that picture.
Yeah. We'll line up.
Yo, idiots.
Oh, what's up, there,
Hey,
man?
that's slander, sir. That's slander.
Anybody got anything else to say before we go on to the next
Oh,
topic?
man.
When Boo Boo the Clown run for president, I'm gonna vote for that motherfucker. That's who the fuck
Oh
I'm
my
voting
gosh.
for.
Well, the best thing about Boo Boo the Clown is that you can just put your name in there and be the same thing.
You right, man. I'm not 35 yet, so I got to get there first.
I
Bet, Boo
think
Boo.
that everybody should go out, make sure you register to vote, do your research, find the candidate that supports the things that you support, is going to help you out, and vote for those people. Don't just go out there and vote, a party just because you think that party's going to have your back.
Yeah, don't vote just to vote because you want to be a number, because you think you're going with the mass majority and shit. The mass majority is not always right. Just remember that shit.
That's facts.
Hey, Brett, anything else?
Brett doesn't know how to read.
All right, well, hey, you heard it here. You heard it
I don't
from,
like to read and do research, so
you heard it here from Kinfolk and Nem. Go out there and go register to vote. Go get your vote on and use your brain when it comes to voting. Don't just vote on red and blue. Cause we got other candidates out there. Use your brain.
And if you choose not to vote, just keep it to yourself. I'm not gonna be mad at you, but most people gonna be mad at you. But just keep it
Oh
to
yeah.
yourself.
Oh yeah, they gonna come at your neck. They gonna come at your
Unless you
neck.
don't give a fuck and tell you didn't vote.
If you say out loud that you did not vote, get ready for all the slander
There's
and
gonna
all
be a lot of smoke. Yeah.
a lot of
Anywho,
smoke
Like
So,
this guy. Speaking of
Untapped
slander,
smoke.
speaking of people that's gotten smoked recently, Deshaun Jackson, his IG post, his quote unquote anti-Semitic Instagram posts that have been circulating through the
shit.
internet recently within the
This
last
nigga.
12 hours.
Something like
And
that.
from what we've read, what we kind of discussed a little bit on the pre-show before we hopped on live, uh, Ish, do you want to start it off first on how you feel, and we can, kind of piggyback off of what you're saying?
I mean, I don't know, man. I think where he messed up was to attribute a quote to Hitler about Jews.
You mean
I
from
mean,
Hitler? It wasn't to
I don't
Hitler. It was
know.
from Hitler.
Yeah, from
From
Hitler,
Hitler.
whatever. I mean, I don't understand how
It's okay.
you think that makes sense at all. Why did he think that was a good idea? I don't know. I would say if you analyze what the quote actually said, to me, I don't know. That me and anti-Semitic stuff, I don't know how I feel about it. I don't know that the quote necessarily is anti-Semitic. I think more so it was that he was saying Hitler said it and he decided to quote that. But there's a bigger issue there. I think there's a larger issue between the Black community and the Jewish community in California, where he is from. And I think that may be a cause for why he decided to post this out there. I'm not excusing it, but I will say that it's deeper than I think what people are taking it at the face value. And we should probably, look into what the man is saying. I'm not saying don't be mad at him. I'm not saying he is justified.
Right.
I'm saying we need to look into like what his reason is before we just try to call the Eagles to cut him. Really, we should be educating people instead of telling the Eagles to cut him.
I mean, honestly, a lot of people, especially scholars or I guess people that are highly educated that do a lot of reading and research, they will tell you how smart and how much of a genius Hitler was. Was he a good person? No, he was not a good person. Was he very good at swaying the people and talking to the people?
And that's exactly what you mean. Is that he was smart enough to be able to sway the masses because of how he was able to use his words in a way to pretty much be the Pied Piper of thousands of people.
Now, was his application of those techniques the best? No. He tried to kill off a whole population of multiple sections of people. Of course, it's fucking horrible. And of course, you probably should not quote Hitler regardless of how you feel about it.
I don't even think it was a Hitler quote, though. I think people did the research, and it's not even something that Hitler said.
Really?
But so that's where it's like, if you didn't even know, why did you think that was a good idea?
Right. Well, people just, I don't know. They think they have good ideas. They have good intentions. You have good intentions with things, and you think it's going to come off a certain way. People are going to take it a certain way, but it doesn't happen, especially when you do things like quote Hitler, because, again, the quote itself was not anti-Semitic. I don't think that the quote itself was anti-Semitic. The language used in it, yes, it's probably language that was primarily used during that time frame, but I think that they're trying to associate the fact that he did use a Hitler quote, so maybe he does fuck with Hitler, so you are anti-Semitic. That's not, that logic trail to me, the reasoning doesn't add up. But I understand that's how people look at it. And yeah, Deshaun Jackson, you fucked up. You shouldn't have posted a goddamn quote from Hitler. Packed in, it's all right, G's fuck up, players fuck up and shit, but America, he's not a fucking racist, anti-Semitic Nazi. Chill the fuck out. Like,
I mean,
there's bigger things to worry about. He could be a racist, anti-Semitic Nazi. I don't know nigga personally, but
his apology didn't help him either. I listened to the apology, and it was not an apology. He basically said, "I'm sorry if you took it the wrong way, or like I didn't mean it like that. I'm sorry if you took it that way." But it was like, So he didn't actually apologize. So he's probably gonna get more heat for that.
Yeah, that's
Now,
unfortunate.
shout out to again Christine Robicheaux. She says the owner of the Eagles and the GM are Jewish as well, which makes this way more interesting. And I definitely agree on what she's saying because if you are somebody that is employed by somebody that, of course, has those religious beliefs, and they, for right now, at least trying to play some type of damage control amongst each other to try and figure out, okay, what are we going to do? Because if we cut Deshaun, they're going to, the media's going to kill us. They're going to make it seem like we don't, like black people maybe. And, just, it's going to be a bad PR look. If we keep Deshaun, again, this is the same ownership group that kept Riley Cooper after saying the N word on camera, at a concert and whatnot. So if that's the case, it's the same ownership group that took on the risk of bringing in Michael Vick after dogfighting. This is the same ownership group that has been able to, that has allowed their players to voice their opinions on Black Lives Matters and all these different things about themselves as an individual. So it's gonna be very interesting, like Christine said, on how this is going to be when it comes to this whole thing plays out. I'll say this: if this Deshaun Jackson of 2012, he might not even, this will get brushed to the side, and this might, might not even pan over to the regular season. But because Deshaun Jackson is not who he used to be, it's a lot easier to cut him now than it would be, let's just say, 8 years
True.
ago.
Facts.
Question.
Answer.
So, in regards to his actual, I guess Twitter post or whatever it was. Okay, so yeah, it was a Hitler post. We know you fucked up because of that. But again, looking at the actual quote and the fact that the times we're living in, and I think I understand why he's trying to make that type of quote, which again, you got to find a better path, a better route. There's a lot of ways you could probably find a way to get to say what you was trying to say with that. But I think his intent was, to show the world that there has been this systematic worldwide agenda to oppress black people, no matter where you come from and look at it. And I think, yeah, his tactic and execution as far as displaying that with that quote was flawed. But at the same time, it plays right into our problem with that's not the shit that we worried about right now. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like it takes away from what he was actually trying to do. You know what I mean? Which is his own fault because the nigga quoted Hitler. I can't really say too much about that part. You know what I mean? But
I think the basis behind it is that it's divisive, right? So like, it will offend the quote itself will offend some people and it will create resentment from some people. It'll cause some people to feel like, maybe he is anti-Semitic. Whether or not he is, I don't know. But by him posting that, some people may feel like he is. And that creates, especially a person with his platform, that creates a problem for himself, the organization. I mean, there are a lot of repercussions that come from that. I think if it was like one of you guys that posted it, you may get some backlash on your timeline, but it's probably not blowing up the way it is. But because of his platform, obviously you can't go out making a post like that, understanding the times that we are in, right? You can't say that you want equality for all and want everybody to be encompassed in this great society and then make a post like that where you're pretty much creating this divide and singling out a group of people. I think that's the problem, right? So that's where he definitely chose the wrong avenue to try to express whatever feelings he was trying to express. You gotta learn, gotta continue to educate yourself and grow.
I have a question though. If he scores 12 touchdowns and has 1,200 yards this year, how much of this matters?
It still matters.
It's still, people gonna say it still matters, especially because he's black.
It still matters. I mean,
It still matters.
with the time that we're in and the heightened awareness of everybody, I think it is what really makes it matter. No,
It's not going to go away that easy.
Yeah,
I feel like,
it's not gonna go
especially
away.
with today's quote unquote cancel culture or whatever people want to call it these days. I think he definitely dug a huge hole for himself. It's unfortunate.
Yeah.
And we don't even know we're gonna have an NFL season, so this can linger on for a little while.
Now we'll have an NFL season.
I don't think that
We'll
it'll
see.
linger on as much as you think
Too
it
much
will.
money involved.
Okay, so let me ask you this, Brett. So would you, I would say, I would put this not on the same level, but I would say as far as like news related, I would put it on the level with like Michael Vick in the dogfighting situation, right? As far as like coverage and the backlash that you're going to face for it, right? The Michael Vick thing has not gone away. And he played in Philly, produced a little while, and it didn't go away. So you think that a situation where he's basically quoting Hitler is gonna go away if he scores 12 touchdowns?
No. I never said that.
He has best season with the Eagles too, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, I also say this: people do love their dogs more than they love. Just saying, I'll leave it at that.
I never.
What?
I
know what I know. I'm talking about. Y'all know what I'm talking about.
Who are these people?
Hold on.
Go, Brett.
I never said that it would go away easy. I asked if he has a great season, will it do you think that it will blow it up more, or will it push it under the rug a little bit?
No, I think that you're gonna have. I think once this gets out a little bit more, because when did it get reported today? It got reported today at like this morning, right? Yeah. I think as more people tune into it, you're gonna have people on like Fox News and other things calling for him to be out of the league.
Yeah, Fox News gonna come for his neck.
Like, dude, so how many? Maybe also, because I only saw one like this. If you guys can see that, that's all I've seen is like the one little, like it has a picture of him, and then it has.
Here you go for Fox News.
Okay.
Hashtag fuck Fox News.
It has this like one little quote over here.
Wow, bro.
And like,
man, wow, you really took it there, didn't you?
Wow.
Did he post more than that?
I mean, hashtag fuck Fox News.
So basically, he posted this.
We setting trends out this bitch.
Brett, he posted the quote, and then he also had posts that was, I guess, he was saying like he liked Farrakhan or something, which there have been groups that have, I guess, studied and said that Farrakhan is anti-Semitic. So there's more to it than just the post itself.
And that's the part that okay, so this is like, for me, this is all I've seen. So that's why I'm asking. Oh, you guys see that?
Yeah. So there's a little more to it. So
go educate yourself.
That's why. No. Time out, because I asked you before we got on if you were gonna post the thing, because I hadn't seen it. I asked you that.
And I said no.
Okay, so I'm going off of what I've seen.
Either way, people are going to be coming for him. They're going to want him out of the league.
I don't think it's going to go that far for him, like for them to want him out of the league. But no, there's always going to be people like the extremists that will. You're right. But,
motherfuckers want to Cap out the league. All he did was fucking kneel.
But I don't think the majority
can't hear about
are going to want him out of the league. I just think that there will be some though, for sure.
There ain't gonna be no kneeling over here, goddammit.
Not on company's time, damn it. You do that on your own, boy.
Not on company's time, goddamn. You get paid out here, goddamn.
Y'all wild, man.
Kneeling on my flag, goddamn. I tell you what.
What's the
you better expect me to lay on my grandpappy fought for.
Napoleon, you're talking about that.
It's gonna be me kneeling on your goddamn.
There's gonna be more this year, and I wonder what the outrage is gonna be like.
There won't be.
Hey, y'all remember that South Park episode where there was
America?
They're like, they took my jeans.
They took my jeans.
What? They took her job.
They took your
They took her jibs.
Okay, it says, yeah, it's time to go.
It's time to go.
Hey,
Time to
and
go.
that'll wrap it up for the first
thank you.
episode of Kinfolk
It
and
needs to
Nem.
wrap it up.
It will come on every Tuesday, 10:30 Eastern. For people that's on the East Coast, like Napoleon Robicheaux, who couldn't get here on time, that's why I had to start at 10 o'clock. And for
Until
9:30 Central, people that live on a
Late boy.
central time frame, like all four of us on this side of the webcam.
Stop putting my business out there.
Anyways, we'll be back next Tuesday, every Tuesday,
until school.
10:30 Eastern, 9:30 Central. Hashtag Kinfolk and Nem. We'll see y'all next time. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in.
Thank you. We appreciate it.
Peace, love, and knowledge.